I'm going to get us going. Can you all hear me in the back? I've been told that I don't project well. My name is George Skariak. I'm happy to present Cybersecurity makes its way into the boardroom for perspectives across stakeholders. I will say in advance, I apologize. I have a case of asthma, so if I start coughing, I apologize in advance. The STEAM panel will carry on if I have to step off momentarily. I've been in the enterprise software space for about 27 years. Worked a lot of those years at companies like Siebel, TIBCO, IBM, 41st Parameter Fraud Prevention, bought by Experian, and ran a global fraud and prevention business unit. Cybersecurity is something that's very near and dear to my heart. I've actually seen where the money goes. So to me, it's more than just you're losing $10 million because you had a fraud incident, or it's more than just $7 million costing to fix a data breach. To me, it's much worse than that. I know where the money goes. It goes to a lot of nefarious activities, a lot of terrorist activity, drug trafficking, human trafficking. So to me, this is something that every board should care about. Every American, every human being should care about doing our best and our duty to stop cybersecurity risk. Anybody know what's the average cost every time there's a data breach? Anybody in the audience want to take a guess? Studies, some say 7 million, some say 10 million, but I think the biggest numbers to talk about are in 2016, cybersecurity attacks cost us globally over $450 billion. It's a big number. It gets scarier. By 2019, the projections are it's going to go north of $2 trillion. And by 2021, north of $7 trillion. So I ask you, should you and should the board care about cybersecurity? With that said, I am going to let the panelists introduce themselves. Start with Dr. Edward Amoroso.
Can you hear me okay? No. It doesn't seem like it's on. Usually you can hear a certain amount of background. Switching it. Hi, everybody. I'm Ed Amoroso. This also does. It's like weirdly dim in here, right? I feel like we should take it. Good. So I'm Ed. I'm 31 years of AT&T last year. I was the chief security officer for 16 years. I always thought GRC was like this mysterious thing that we didn't need to do in security. And then little by little I realized that I was an early sort of user of some of the tools that evolved into GRC that became aware of metrics years ago for defining capability. So I'm here sort of in the mold of the cybersecurity executive, and I've been on several boards. I've been dealing with boards forever. I've yelled at many boards, so I'll offer my perspective and questions. Thanks for coming to my session.
Hi, Greg Alexander. I'm currently with the Priceline Group. Anybody heard of this? So I probably have the best job in the world. I'm a global security advisor. So basically it means I don't have an operational role. I can provide advice and guidance to our brands. And then my really primary purpose is to act as the eyes and ears of our senior leadership, including the board of directors. And so I brief the whole board of directors a couple of times each year. And I brief our audit committee 4 times each year. And then we have what we call a group management board that consists of all the CEOs of the brands and our senior leadership group, and I brief those guys once a month. So lots of interactions, but not a whole lot. I don't get to call it Friday afternoon anymore. There's been a breach. I get to call Monday that we had an issue over the weekend and everything's okay. So and then prior to that, I was the CISO for EDS and then HP, and I also had the distinct pleasure to brief HP's board of directors a couple of times. We can have an offline talk over here about that. And then I also briefed and interacted with EDS board of directors. Basically, that's what I'm doing.
Cool, Richard. Well, Richard Steven, you know a lot about me to speak, but before this, briefly, industry analyst for a couple dozen years, and have been executive staff of several vendors, but never on the board of a public company. My only board experience was I was once working for ISD Thomas. I don't want to be on the board of the University of Detroit's library system. You do it. So I go to the board and advise them on technology issues, and then we come up on the annual fundraising, and it turns out being a board member meant giving them money, so I quit the game. That's my experience.
It's a good story. Wow, I'm loud. That threw me down the hill. So, panelists, what involvement and interaction do cybersecurity executives typically have with the board?
Well, I'll go first. I think I have some contrarian views about involvement of boards with cybersecurity and more generally compliance. It's been my experience, and I've sat on board, I spent the last year on the board of directors of M&T Bank, if any of you bank with them, she's an independent director there. That board members are intelligent, capable, able to go into the weeds on any topic, from marketing to management to finance to personnel to you name it. They're really able to get into the weeds. And yet, in our world, IT and technical, we're told to absolutely avoid the weeds. The boards live up here, not way down here. God forbid you get into the detail. So it makes no sense. It's not that they don't get into the weeds. It's that American boards, and probably also true across the globe, I have less experience internationally than I do here. Boards of directors in the United States of America are just not capable currently of digging into IT issues properly, and absolutely not capable of digging into cybersecurity issues. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it's generational, I don't know. All I know is that two incredibly capable, intelligent people, when you get into finance, they're digging way down in the weeds, talk for 2 hours about the most detailed, complex, financial, quantitative issue, but then you come in and want to talk cybersecurity. It's like, ooh, just talk to me about people are the problem. Firewalls are like doors. Gosh, if we could just, get everybody to follow 3 simple things, we'd be fine. Well, it's not fine, and it's not simple, and it takes some time to learn. When I became a board member, nobody baby talked to me about finance. I had to go buy a big fat book on the Federal Reserve and read 20 pages a day to understand the finance. I put the time in. Board members don't put the time in. Let me say one more thing, and I'll turn it over to you guys. Everyone in this room has had that moment in your career. Maybe you've had 3 or 4 moments when you're in a meeting, you're with your boss, you're with colleagues, you're somewhere, and you realize that the conversation is over your head, and you feel that trickle of sweat like, uh-oh, I don't get this. And you know that feeling. It is a very uncomfortable feeling. What do? After the meeting, you rush off and you fix that. Get a book, get a colleague, you do something, and you scramble to learn. When we baby talk board members and make it easy for them, you deprive them of that uncomfortable experience. They walk out of board meetings like you walk into the next presentation and go, oh, nice, that's so easy. I finally understand, so simple, I get it. It's not simple, and I don't want you to get it. I want you to go study and learn and raise your level to the point where you can make competent decisions. So I realize that's a little contrarian. It's not what you hear most of the time, but that's been my experience, that we do boards and executives a major disservice by making cybersecurity and compliance look too easy. I'll turn it over to you guys.
Cool. Question to you guys. How many security guys are in the room? Good. So how many of you actually interact with your boards or your senior leadership? Excellent. Yeah, so I'm kind of in the room with Ed. Though I think part of my role has always been to teach. So when I go in front of the board, I actually did a full hour of my group CEOs 5 months a month. And then I did an hour in front of the full board twice a year. And I get 40 minutes to an hour once a quarter for the other. I don't give them a bunch of metrics and a bunch of stats because they don't care about that. I'm really trying to educate them in terms of what's going on in our space, because as he's saying, it is extremely complicated. It's not an easy activity. And really, if we can get them on our side, and I'm very lucky because I get very, very good management support from my organization. Everybody wants to understand it, everybody wants to be educated, and they want to be involved. The other thing, though, is that I don't go for their decisions. I don't want them to make operational decisions. I want them just to be aware of them.
So here I thought I'd be the iconoclast on the panel. Should have known. That's very easy to say the most controversial thing. No, I have to do that. So I did a readiness study for the biggest bank in Australia. So I just went in and reviewed their processes and got a feel for how they were addressing security. The goal was to turn that into an independent report to take to the board. And the initial proposition was that I would present it. So I was looking forward to that. One more trip to Australia, that's a good thing. Good to eat at the meat and wine company, favorite restaurant on the planet. And, but they took my report and they just went through iteration after iteration to dumb it down. And then the CISO presented it because it would be too risky to have this outsider come in and say crazy things about security and maybe educate them. And in the many, many GRC conferences I've attended, or security conferences in general, when the topic comes up of communicating to upper management or the board, I've heard since 2000 that the problem with us security people is we don't speak business language. We've got to change that. And that's actually the problem. That's why, it's okay, we've tried that. For 17 years, we've tried that. And we've taken everything we do, we've cast it into risk models. It's permeated the regulatory environment. You can't read the NIST cybersecurity framework without it being, recognizing that it's all risk-based, et cetera, et cetera. We never go into the board, get into the weeds, explain to them how a worm spreads from machine to machine, and why this is bad, and why it can be introduced with a thumb drive, and why we probably need endpoint controls to prevent that. If you're talking business risk, it's a lot different than if you're talking, look at this is how this stuff really works. So rather than get to the point where you've changed who you are in order to communicate with the board, take Ed's advice and get them to think like you do. So they really do have that gut-wrenching, hackles rising in the back of their necks when they realize just how bad it can get.
Do you guys think it's always going to need to be front page news, which it always is front page news, cyber attacks, draw attention to the business of the board? Or is there another way? I mean, I don't think it's ever going to go out of the news, but does it take a particular company to be in the news for their board actually pays attention?
I'll start with that one. I don't think it's, I think we're in an information overload state. Maybe once a week, nobody's even paying any attention. How many letters have you gotten about your credit cards or the Department of Defense? You get all that stuff. Anybody, did you stop shopping them? Did you stop going to those businesses? No, I don't think we have. And in fact, if you look at the major breaches of the organizations that have occurred over the last 10 years, all of them were stock price, and all of those are doing better now than they were before. So what's the message? The message is that consumers don't care. So I think from the board perspective, I don't think we need that information anymore. The boards do get it. It is costing money. And one of the things that we'd like to do is get some more money to help us build the defenses up, as opposed to dealing with the media stuff.
If I were chairman of the board, every time I saw one of these scary news articles, I would go immediately to my security team or the rest of the board members and say, could this happen to us? And if you're not getting that question, then you should be providing the answer anyways. You should be going in and say, hey, let's date myself, this thing at Lowe's that occurred. Some kid was driving in the parking lot, so I remember the story well, with a breakfast can on the roof of his car, and he was sniffing the Wi-Fi network and breaking in, stealing credit card numbers and selling them to Russian organized crime in Detroit. You would think that news story, which happened in about 2003, you'd think that would really get the boards of every retailer in the world awake, right? But no, 3 years later, TJ Maxx, Minneapolis, exact same scenario occurred. Nobody thought, hey, maybe we should check our Wi-Fi networks and make sure we've got strong controls on that. And of course, it'll just keep going on in retail, and it just never ends. Ask those questions, answer the questions before they're ready.
You know, let me give you 3 things that you can tell your boss when you get that question, like in this happened to us. Here's what I think you should answer with. And I used to answer this to, of all people, Gil Amelio, who's from Apple. He was on AT&T's board. He was running point on me. So he would come plop down in my office for a couple of days and we would talk. And I'd sort of hone my skills in dealing with the board and dealing with him. But here's what I said. First thing is, again, this happened to us. Your answer should be, it already has, and you should accept that from a disclosure perspective, probably all of our intellectual property and customer data is already been stolen. So that's number one. It would be wise to make the presumption that that is true. If you held a gun to the head of any cybersecurity executive in any company and asked, have you been hacked? Disclosure, like stealing your stuff, every single one of them would say, well, if I had to say, I would say yes. So that's first. Now that's not being a snarky kind of security geek. That's an honest business answer. Every single executive should know. They should hear that. So number one, we already have it. Number two, the second stage of that is that maybe you found out about it, which is a little bit of a penalty for being vigilant. So you're better off, in a sense, if a nation state cleans you out and you never notice. Ignorance is bliss. But if you take the time, if you get a call from the FBI and you actually answer the phone, if you dig around through NetFlow, you put a SIM in place, you start doing some work, and all of a sudden you go, oh my God, we got all these APTs and stuff, then that's the second level. You have had your stuff stolen and you know it, and it might be reportable, it might not, whatever, and in a sense, that's where a board member goes, oh my gosh, we've been hacked. You have to teach them. No, we figured it out. We were already hacked. Everybody's been hacked, so that's the second. The third level, the scariest level, is when destructive attacks start to affect operations. Those are ones you can't sweep under the carpet. So thank God when it's the Chinese hacking you. You know why? They don't call the New York Times. They're totally cool about it. They just want your stuff. Look at Domain, take yours. Or anybody. Like 5 countries are on record as saying they can break into anything they want and with 100% impunity. Can you know who the 5 are? Who are they? Shout them out. Russia, China, US, not France. No? There's 2 others people have trouble with these. UK and Israel. Those 5 countries can break into anything, anytime, anywhere, including each other. When you get a call from them and they can't say, sources, methods, that means your apples were in somebody's apple basket. And they go get it and they're like, oh, break into apple basket. Look, I found your apple. And they go, here, you've been hacked. How do you know? I can't tell you. Well, they found it somewhere. So when that all becomes destructive, meaning everybody comes in the morning and can't turn the computers on, you can't sweep that under the carpet. And there's this terrible effect, like Roger Bannister, that ever ran a 4-minute mile. Nobody could run a 4-minute mile. Then that guy runs a 4-minute mile. Then 3 minutes later, everybody can run a 4-minute mile. APTs from those 5 countries now give everybody else hope. They go, oh, you can break into anything you want? Well, our thing is we can too. So irresponsible countries, political groups, hacking groups, pretty soon we'll get to the point where they break into anything. And an APT is trivial. It's just, APTs have been, I break into your living room wearing booties, I take pictures of everything, and then I tiptoe out. Well, it's easier to break into your living room, tracking mud and take a gun and torch the place, and then leave. That's actually easier than stealing your stuff. That's coming this year and next. It will happen to you. And I fear that we're headed toward a very bad place. I'm a conservative guy. I'm not prone to hyperbole. But what it feels like to me, it's a bunch of kids marching, and I see a cliff, and they're heading, and in fact they're accelerating, and people are going, gosh, do we have any risk? And I see everybody marching, and there's a cliff. And I go, yeah, there's risk. You're marching toward a cliff. And I really honestly believe that's where we are right now. And I think you should, if you do cyber, go back tomorrow, or whenever the conference is over, get your team together and make sure you do a destructive malware prevention plan. I posted one on LinkedIn if you need it, it's free. But I'm really concerned that, right, the disclosure stuff, you can live through that, right? No problem, it's still my stuff, just do whatever. But when it's not disclosure, what do you do? What are you going to tell your client? It's scary, right? Yeah. So, bad place.
Further thoughts on that? Yeah, I think in terms of the destructive piece, we've only seen that twice, really. Once in the Middle East and then once on the West Coast. And I think we are looking for, that is going to be our Armageddon. Literally, the organization can't come in, we're going to do ransomware. We're just going to wipe it.
And South Korea got that too.
Sorry, I forgot the third one. And what plans do you have in place how to deal with that? So if your data center is completely whacked, you're in big time trouble. What about are you in the cloud? Will you be able to do that? They whack all your instances. So I think it's going to be very interesting in the next couple of years, and then after that, I'll retire and I won't have to worry about it.
Do the iPhone test. Like if I told you that your iPhone or Android or whatever was tossed into a pool, and there it is, you watch it sinking, how freaked out are you? You're a little annoyed because you're going to have to go get a new piece of hardware, but in minutes you can have your pictures back, you can put it all in the cloud. Now take your business and drop it in the pool and you're watching it float. How freaked out are you? Like, can you rebuild everybody's images? Can they get their critical data in the cloud? Is it there? You know what will happen? Everybody in your organization will go, well, I have like some memory sticks in my desk. I can rebuild those like on my personal PCs. Okay, I use my Gmail account. You'll have your whole company doing that. And you'll go, oh my gosh, we didn't have a plan. And then you'll say, well, we have everything in OneDrive, or we dropped it off in the cloud. But if it's a BIOS attack, you have no computers, then what? Like, would you use BYOD for that? Figure it out now. Like, make that happen. Do a plan. That should take the board, right? To come up with something now, so that not if, but when that happens, you'll think back to metrics during the conference and you'll say, oh, thank God I went to that panel, right? There you go. You can send your chat.
So I wrote up a thought experiment very similar to that after OPM. So you're the Office of Personnel Management, you're in DC, it gets majorly hacked. And, the hacks have been going on forever, of course. They recognized it, so they put in for extra budget. So we saw that in some of the hack documents. And, but they stole, all the records of everybody's security clearance going back forever. So, it's probably a data retention issue we talked about in our GRC stance. But I bet you the CIO of OPM probably didn't even realize that there was this, server farm somewhere, probably in an old IBM mainframe that had all that stuff unencrypted just sitting there. So the thought experiment, if you're CIO of an agency, you're head of an agency, and don't want to lose your job, and don't want to appear in front of a congressional panel as she did, take a break, go for a walk, sit down on a bench, and imagine that you just discovered that exact thing had happened to you, the worst possible scenario. And then think of what you would do, right? You'd get together a team of the right people, and you'd sit down and figure out how to recover from that, and how to prevent it from ever happening again. When you're done with figuring out what you do in that hypothetical situation, go back to your office, call that team, and do it. It's a lot cheaper now than when you've already talked to Congress and lost your job.
Have that conversation with the board, told them that you did.
So, Ed, you were talking about this is going to the pool. This next question it's a little redundant in the sense that business risk and cyber risk are firmly intertwined in today's digital organizations. Do you believe it's possible or impossible to measure and mitigate one without the other? Can you separate the two? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think ultimately businesses are going to manage risk more holistically. Let me tell you a story. I do some consulting now for the Sloan Foundation. place, and I started reading Alfred Sloan's book, My Years in General Motors. If you look in that book, he's got the org charts for General Motors over 30 years, right in the book. It's so cool. Go order it on Amazon. It's so worth it. And you see the progression of the organizational alignment, the different business units and so on, General Motors. But in 1960, when the book kind of ends, and the last page, like the bottom of the org charts, down in the bottom corner, there's a little box that says Personnel Department. And you think it's like a couple of people with typewriters typing badges. Look at what's happened to that function from 1960 to 2017. It became Personnel Department, and then somewhere they changed it to Human Resources, and then it bubbled up more. Now, 50 years later, can you find a company that doesn't have a direct report to the CEO running Human Resources? That function bubbled up. I think we're seeing that now with risk. I think you have different risk groups. I think you had an IT security team, 2 kids with a firewall in the corner, and then it being a little bigger, and then you got an IT exec, then you got the first CISO, and then it's a little more than the board. Now, I think we're on a collision course with a risk officer doing what you said, like looking at business risk, IT risk, the whole thing, probably being a direct report to the CEO. I don't know too many companies that have that now, but I think that's common. Like, I think you probably have something, and it'll be that person's job to do exactly what you said, to coalesce risk to their organization and cyber.
And I think I would agree with that. I also think that it's probably not going to be a technologist that's that individual. I think it's going to be somebody else who came up with a different chain. So as you're looking at that activity, thinking about your career path, your security guys and gals, where do you want to be in 5 years? What do you want to be?
Well, one thing I'd add, and I know you have thought on this, if you're a CFO, you may not have studied finance in college, but you have to be able to speak finance. And I think even if you come through like a Theory Z route up to that executive league, you can't be a Luddite about the whole thing. You have to be able to learn the tech. And I think that's one of the lessons of 2017, that if you want to be a business executive, add technology to the list of things you better be good at. You can't fake it. And it's hard, right? Just like I think finance can be hard. Technology, you can't be somebody who goes, I bet you see on the board you deal with. Guys going, my 12-year-old doesn't help me with my computer, and I always want to say, well, that's something to help you off this board, right? If you need a 12-year-old help with a computer, what are you doing on a board? I'm dead serious. I think we're beyond that.
I would say that for my organization, all the senior leaders of wrestling group, all of our brands, with the exception of 2, are technologists and understand technology. And it is a very rare organization. But all of our brands are basically all internet companies and commerce companies. So that's the lifeblood of the organization. So 2 of the ones, the other 2 folks that aren't there, those CEOs, are really good marketers. The other ones are really good smart person who has the ability to go out and get money.
So I have a very jaundiced view of risk. So the answer to the question, and it goes back to, maybe because I'm an engineer at heart, and engineers just want to have problems and fix them, right? You don't want to think about hypotheticals and take actions against a hypothetical that never appear. And it occurred to me when there was something back in the automotive days called, it was some long acronym, and it involved spreadsheets. It was developed by the Japanese, and it was an attempt to identify beforehand what failure modes could exist in a product developed. And I was doing car seats for Center. And you would write down, you would be a little picture of every single part, and you write down, the risk. And you grade it, assign a number. There's a risk of 4 out of 5 that the nap on this seat cover could wear out during the test, the federal test, X. Or there's a risk that you fail the crash worthiness test. Then you assign all those. And then you'd say, okay, here's our reaction if we countered that risk. So it's kind of predictive what we do. So we get into production, and one of those things would happen. Nobody would ever even take the book off the shelf to look at what our path should be, because the engineers knew exactly what to do. Build a fatigue test, increase the gauge, change the level. So when I saw that starting to percolate through IT security, I started wondering, are we going down the wrong path? Since every single standard now is based on risk management principles. I'm a real fan of Nassim Taleb when I can understand anything he says. But he seems to be saying that you can't, protect against black swan events, since in cybersecurity and in technology in general, there are lots of black swan events all the time. You can't predict them, therefore you can't measure the risk associated with them, and you can't make decisions about the investment against them. But in our world, I much prefer the kind of a military approach, which is a threat model, right? So when a hypothetical president gets his security briefing every morning, hypothetical because I'm having trouble imagining the current president getting this briefing, but when he gets that briefing, he doesn't say, the military has 1,700 installations around the world, and one of the fences in the one in Guam is rusted out. So there's a risk that somebody can get into that base. Right? That never comes up. It's Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula is doing this today. Al-Qaeda in Africa is doing this today. ISIS is doing this today. And we understand that these threat actors are planning to do this action. And that's how the President of the United States manages risk. And I assume most of the military does as well. If you're in a battle zone, you're not measuring risk, you're responding and taking defensive measures in order to win the battle. And I think that's the approach that we have to take in IT security as well.
Appreciate that. So what are some of the best methods to showcase the linkages of cybersecurity risk with brand reputation, corporate integrity? You're talking to the business folks, so beyond just the board, but the business folks, how would you respond to that? Back to dumbing it down or making it go learn it?
This occurred to me in the mornings session when they asked, or one of the panelists said, you just can't find people to sit on boards that have a cybersecurity background. And, first of all, I think there's 100 people that are more than qualified to do exactly that. They have business, they have security, they're geniuses. They never get asked, right? Because to her other point, there's an old boys network. I mean, if you're not part of it, you're not part of it. But some of these guys, security person, if you ask them to sit on their board and offer them stipend and quarterly meetings in nice places, they would not take the position until they had assured themselves that you were already in a good security position. And that's the blockage right there. It's like you probably are in a position to assure them. Introduce them to the CISO and have them go through the extenuating process to assure yourself that you're not going to damage your own brand reputation as a security professional by being associated with the next TJ Maxx.
There's actually another component. Like I mentioned, that I sat on the board of the big bank. I stepped down because I'm running a consulting business, and you can't run a cybersecurity consulting business without selling to banks. So you can't have conflicts of interest. You can't be on the board of one bank and then sell services to others. So there's a natural problem here that either you're a working CISO making pretty good money, in which case you're probably not going to be on some board. You're busy. There's not going to be able to go take time off and go to 8 meetings, 9 meetings, 10 meetings a year for 2 days. It's not going to happen. But if you step away from that, the opportunities are pretty significant. You have to be really, really committed to being a board member. It doesn't pay that well. A typical board member might make $75,000, $80,000 for the full year's worth of work. It's a typical. Maybe there's 5 or 10 businesses that pay more than that, but not much. Even the biggest companies around don't pay that much more than that. So you're going to take that and supplant millions of dollars of potential consulting. And so you end up in a situation where it is extraordinarily difficult to find somebody who's willing to sit on a board, or a board that's willing to accept someone and say you can go up and have business interests, outside of, we're just not going to worry about any type of conflict. That's just not the reality. So we have a bit of a stalemate right now.
Yeah, I'm a little bit different in terms of organizational structure. So our folks actually did the linkage between security and brand. And since we don't make anything, we don't have a whole lot of intellectual property. You want to take our code and run our website, knock yourself out, you can have it. Then try to go get all the suppliers that we've got linked in to actually be able to use the code. So that's kind of from our perspective. So I don't really see that as an issue from us at all. What we've tried to do over the last 4 years since I've been there is we didn't put any standards in place, but just kind of did an assessment of where each one of the brands was at from a security maturity perspective. We did that internally, and then we brought in an external organization and did an external assessment. And now we're in the process of actually doing a much more objective assessment. We're actually doing hands-on network deep dives with all the brands to actually validate all the controls that they've got in place. And I think that process has really resonated with the board. In fact, we're on a nice pathway that's actually show that we're actually going to either we're reducing risk or we're identifying it and we're letting the organization accept the risk.
Dude, can I tell a brand story, a quick one, 3-4 minutes? That's interesting. If I say Democratic National Committee and Security Brand, what do you think? You think a disaster, right? So, exactly 20 years ago and 6 months, I got a call from the Clinton campaign saying that they wanted some advice on cybersecurity because they were afraid that they would lose the election because of email and security. And I'll let you stew on that for a minute. 20 years ago was the Bill Clinton campaign, 96. And here's what they're worried about. They had 2 buildings, Fairchild Building and headquarters. Half of you, if you're from this area, you know what I'm talking about. And between the 2 buildings, there's a big dirt area the size of like a baseball infield. And they were worried that the T1 connection that they had in those days between the 2 buildings, which they presumed ran under the road, they thought it was a wire from one building to the next, that the Republicans would come dig up in that dirt infield, pull up the wire, and attach something to read all their email. So I went down there to explain to them, like, that's not how it works, it's ridiculous. By the way, you want a snicker, but these are children who work there. If you live in this area, you know, or if you have any connection to Georgetown, GW University, George Mason, if your kid graduates in N-1 election year and studies political science, there is a 1,000% chance that they'll work at the DNC or RNC, and these are our kids. 21, 22-year-old kids with like the whole biorhythm thing and eating feedback and all the millennium kind of thing. The millennium thing. So these are the kids who were working there at the time, and they're learning about IT. And they only worked there 1 year. The ranks swell in election year, and then they decrease. There's no stable IT team. So I explained the whole thing to them. It was a mess. There was nobody there. The door was unlocked to the building. I could get to the router. It was a joke. And I laid something out. It was part of Bell Labs at the time. We designed something called the LectorNet and said, you should do this because if you don't, you're going to have brand issues in the future. I swear to you, 20 years ago we told them that. But who were we telling? A bunch of kids who weren't even there 6 months later. So you want to hear a brand story. If you don't take steps now, you can destroy your organization in a year, 5 years, 10 years, or in this case, 20 years into. Boy, I wish they could have gone back in time and implemented something better.
Great.
Sad.
You write a book about that.
I did, I put that, I almost didn't believe it when it was all going on, and I told my wife, I was screaming at the television, and she goes, well, didn't you do this? I went back and I looked, and in a book I wrote in 2000, I wrote a chapter where I described the whole damn thing. So I was like, did I make this up? But it's true. I think right now, the presumption that the Democratic National Committee and the Republican National Committee are in any different state is crazy. And I think they're both as vulnerable. And I think when you see, whichever side of the fence you're on, this should be the ultimate nonpartisan issue. Because this idea that the Republicans didn't hack it, it's a joke. It's probably so cleaned out it's not funny. In fact, the Democrats got their poison pill, before the election. I kind of think the Republican group get their poison pill after the election. It's all stolen. It's all gone. Tax returns, all that stuff. 1,000% chance that all that stuff's been happening. For sure. Right? Of course. Get 50 cybersecurity professionals together, ask them all, and they'll shrug and go, what? I'm sure it's all wrong. What's a big question? So it's got to be a problem.
Who hasn't had
But there isn't any.
Very short. So it's now Q&A time. We're going to move over to Q&A. Ryan, you have the mic. So let me ask the room, any questions for our panelists? Somebody's got a much better question than the last one or two I have in here. There we go. Hand up right there, Ryan, and another one in the front row.
Apparently not connected, just connected.
You want me to give you one of these?
Yeah, here, we'll take
Hi, I'm Cindy from Connecticut Corporation. I'm interested to hear from the panel reviews on whether cybersecurity update belongs to the full board or audit committee, and obviously, the reporting to the board or audit committee is prime real estate, so they don't have a lot of time. Maybe go against what Ed was saying. What your views or your recommendation on what are the main points that we should, update the board of directors or the audit committee on routinely?
I haven't thought on that. Okay. So here's the most important thing. The frequency doesn't matter. Every board's going to be different. But there's one thing that absolutely matters, and take anything from me out of this, take this. Compliance is not security. So what every board gets into is they go, we want to hear about cybersecurity, and then there's this compliance report from the Fed, from the FCC, from someplace, and it has 4 findings. Those 4 findings take on a life of their own. That is now your cybersecurity program. They're going to say, damn it, I want to know how we're doing on those 4 items. And there's this crazy thing that happens where as the 4 items are eventually ticked off, it's like a weird metaphor that we've just solved cybersecurity. And the whole board's going, man, this is great, we got through 2.5 of them. When do you think we'll get through that 4th one? When? Well, I think 3 months. Good, get there. And then at the end of 3 months, everybody goes, we did it. And you're sitting there going, like, what just happened? So that's what happens on boards. They don't know how to do this. So a government group gives them a few things, and they go fix that because they don't know where else to grab it. So compliance and cybersecurity are different, and every board should probably have one of you. Like that'd be an important thing. You tell your senior managers there should be a separate independent advisor. Maybe a teacher would be a good word because I know that's what you do. Teaching, have somebody in there teaching, that's a great idea. Like outside the business, just every couple to few months doing that. That's what I do with M&T now. Like do these learning sessions where you're, taking the time to learn a topic. That's a good thing to do. But compliance and then the equal sign with a slash through it, security, make a chart out of that and put that up on the wall and make sure they all understand. You guys agree with that?
Agree totally. And kind of the mind, if I were for sure a chairman or a CEO, I'm a big believer in delegation, right? Find the right person. And so I wouldn't care if they reported to the audit committee or the full board, or directly to the CEO or whatever. But if you found the right person, empowered them, make it secure, go for it. And of course, when they hired and amorously step ahead of the game and give them the resources that they ask for. When they say, okay, I can do that, but we need X, Y, and Z, and do it, then you've got 90% of it there. The rest on the reporting is going to be, when you find big problems that we have, please let us know.
One more thing that I hear from boards all the time that I want to make sure you guys, right, you know when people go, people are the problem? I so don't get that. That's like saying people cause food poisoning. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make sense. What is the point of computing and systems and banking and anything? People, we're human beings. We build these things that improve our lives. So people go, people are the security problem. Just say that the people are the food poisoning problem. You're all the people, you have more food poisoning. Makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah, the best example of that is password requirements, right? The people are writing down their passwords and putting them underneath whatever, and they don't change them every 30 days. Well, that entire issue went away as soon as Microsoft implemented the automatic password changer. For every single time you can say people are the problem, there's a technology solution to make that go away.
George, question?
Great, any comment? Or we go to the next question?
No, I think these guys answered it. Let's go to the next question, beat them to death.
Hi, this is Sharat Joshi from DTCC New York. Quick question around Amazon and cloud capabilities that's developing and how you look at cybersecurity from that perspective. Over the years, financial services has been, kind of playing like an audience to the cloud scenario, and have been just watching that develop. Now, there's this whole thrust towards utilizing public cloud, private cloud, hybrid clouds, and all that stuff. And information security professionals in those cloud companies have an army of people who are trying to keep it much more safe and secure than those companies. What do you see this as an emerging topic in the boardroom when financial or fintech companies start utilizing cloud capabilities in the future for their core business operation?
So I think that's an interesting question in terms of the cloud. Cloud's here to stay. That's not everybody's going to do it. The issue though is that when you migrate your data into the cloud, you're not migrating your security into the cloud. If you look at Amazon, Google, those guys, they got really large security teams and they're going to protect their infrastructure. But if you're not protecting the data that you're putting up there and how you access it, it's all wasted. So if you don't have a really strong IAM, identity access management process in place, I think it's an exercise of utility.
I'm a big fan of the cloud is offering more security for most organizations. Even if you've got fabulous security in your data center today, by outsourcing to an Amazon or Azure, you've got better physical security now, right? Nobody knows the location of your data anymore. And the controls I've seen available in those spaces, if you use them, are fabulous. It's just so cool that you can tear down an instance, and push out new instances that are freshly patched, and just give you that flexibility. I'm very excited about the cloud.
Okay, can I give a couple of examples? So I read boards constantly. In fact, I probably have had as much interaction with boards in cyber as maybe anybody I know. I've been doing it for the last 5 or 6 years. I've done it so many times. Here's 3 anecdote scenario type descriptions. Maybe it'll be useful. One of these maybe will resonate with you. So when the cloud thing comes up. So the first one I always use that I try to start with is the idea that when you talk about your existing perimeter, like people go, regulators will go, I don't want you moving things out there. Like keep it in here. Well, if in here means it's trivial to hack the perimeter doesn't work, and we already established that you've already been hacked, it doesn't work. What the hell are you keeping it in for? What's the rush to stay with what you have? So that's one. And then if you see a blank face and they're not getting it, then you gotta go, here's the second one. People say, oh, I'm not comfortable with this whole cloud provision model, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? To your third parties and suppliers and partners, you're a cloud provider. You are one, right? They're coming into a portal. You're not part of their network. They're going out to you. You are a cloud service provider. And the question is, can you do that better than Amazon? Yes or no? And most of you go, no. You go, well, why don't you just move it to Amazon? If you suck at it and they're great, move it to them. So that's the second one. Here's the third one. This one is when you have a real non-technical board and you're talking destructive malware. This is my favorite one. I say, now, imagine your enterprise is a building, and that destructive malware is some, terrorist in a truck with a bunch of explosives. The image, the horrible image you have is the truck bomber drives up, sees the building, radios back to wherever, I got it in sight, drives in, explodes the building, right? So that's the canonical, conventional case. Now imagine the truck bomber driving to where the building is, at GPS location all set, drives up, slams on the brakes, calls back and goes, there's no building anymore. They broke, there's a bazillion bricks scattered all over the place, workloads in cloud. What do you want me to hit? There's no more enterprise. They've distributed it. They virtualized it. What do I hit? You get the point? That image is cloud workloads, hyper-segmented, in Amazon, in Azure, and wherever. In fact, the more diverse, the better. Scatter that crap all over the place and orchestrate it. And guess what? Show that to red teams at NSA, GCHQ, wherever, and they'll go, all right, I'll admit that's hard. Now, they'll never say, well, they can't get you, but they'll say that's much harder, and that's cybersecurity, right? Raising the bar. And so distributing to cloud is not, well, I'm going to do it, but I better secure it. That's how you secured it. You got to do the stuff. There's no question, right? You can't just dump a bunch of workloads at it. That's it. You got to put CASB or your identity system. You're right to say that's number one. Microsoft, whatever. You'll learn those techniques. But those three stories for me have always sort of helped. And usually by the end of the third one, you got people going, all right, I can sort of see why you would want to go to cloud. So I hope that's useful.
So we have time for one more question.
Hi, my name's Boardroom. I work for Phillips Lighting and Information Security, and I'm new to that role. And so the conversation that went today, I cannot see anyone who, not even having a technical background, not get something from this discussion today. So number one is, do you also achieve the awareness that you're trying to bring forward also from the ground up? And how would you do that? And I mean up from the organization to the board rather than your vector directly.
I guess the question, if I can paraphrase it a little bit, is how do you teach the board and the entire organization from a security awareness perspective? Well, security awareness training is probably one of the misused areas, I think, in our space. I do a couple of things at my group. I use an organization that does phishing attacks externally, and I attack everybody with the exception of my board of directors. The reason I don't do the board of directors is that they don't have an email account that belongs to me. So I can't attack their personal email account, I get in big time trouble. But I do that on a quarterly basis for the whole group, that's 22,000 employees. And then each one of the brands does it on a monthly basis. And in a lot of cases, some of the brands make it kind of a game, some of the brands make it, if you fall for the phishing attack, you wear a stupid hat all day, that kind of stuff. It sounds a little sophomoric, but I think it, so when we first started this, I came on board in September of 12. We got an organization that came on board with us in the middle of 13. We were probably hitting about 40 to 55% at the very beginning, clicking through, ask for credentials and give you everything. So we're not an issue. Now we're about in the upper teens, so we made some progress, but as we go back to people are the issue. I've got one of my senior guys at the group from the financial sector. I've started a financial team, and he's one of the leaders, has clicked on every phishing attack that I've sent him. Every one. And he goes, I know I should have done it every time, but he still does it. So the issue there is that it really becomes, it really is just repeating the message over and over again. So I think from a phishing scam, I think the thing that we're concerned probably most about is the wire transfer stuff. So we take that to a little bit different level with those specific teams. But I think really having a security awareness training program that's funded, well funded, and communicated, I think is, and one of the other things that I have a luxury of, I've got support from my group CEO to all the brand CEOs. Everybody gets it and really supports it. So I think that's a very helpful environment to be in too.
So I'd like to recommend sending your entire IT staff to certified ethical hacking training. Because this is security awareness. Now, you're opening up the door, right? You might have a disgruntled IT staffer. Now you've given them the power to, tool sets to hack you. But if you give them that mindset of a hacker, and they understand how trivial it is sometimes to create a good phishing email or network-based scan followed by attack, they really don't speak fast.
Final comment on that? You have to do awareness testing, you have to do all those things, for sure. Couldn't imagine a world-class program without them, but here's the problem. When you do, let's say you bring in a real cool pen testing team, then you get here are the 4 things we found, and that becomes the thing. And the problem is, here's what Edgar Dijkstra, the greatest computer scientist of all time, said. I memorized it. He said that testing is a great way to demonstrate the presence of problems, but never to prove their absence. So when you find problems, you demonstrate that they're there. Here's where this works good. Let's say you have a business unit that's a real pain. You have a leader, they want to list the security team. They're real annoying, and the canonical example of that is the U.S. State Department, where you have all these people running embassies and consulates, and they're the ambassador, capital A. If you're an ambassador for like 5 minutes, you're a Madam Ambassador for the rest of your life. So these are really big ego people. And then these wonky people, in the State Department, back in Foggy Bottom want to tell them what to do, tell them about, doing cybersecurity, and they just flat out don't. So where pen testing is awesome for something like that is when they don't want to listen, then we go in and say, look at these 5 horrible things I found, and they go, oh, I can't believe that you found them. And for you could have found 50, you could have found 5, that's how much budget you have. But it's really useful for demonstrating the presence of problems, but never to prove their absence. Keep that in mind. If somebody says, I'm secure because I did a pen test, then they don't know what they're talking about. But if somebody says, I do pen tests as part of a program, they do know what they're talking about. You gotta have it. But again, as you're building out your capability and so on, keep in mind, testing is not, you run a bunch of tests and then you fix the stuff you found. What did you just prove? Nothing. You proved absolutely nothing. You just found different things and you fixed them. That is not the way to design a cybersecurity program. Again, that's why board members and executives, when they hear that, they heave a sigh and they go, this is complicated. And I go, no, we're trying to tell you. This is really, really, really hard. It's the hardest technical, I think it's the hardest business problem maybe ever. I'm a little biased, but I think it's pretty tough.
Well, thank you very much. So thank you, panelists. We're a bit over time, so I'm going to ask you to thank the panelists. And obviously, cybersecurity is something the board should care a great deal about. If your boards don't, there's certain folks that could probably help you convince the board that it's a big, big problem. Thank you all for your time. Lunch is now being served over by the break room. It's something C and D, I believe. So thank you very much for your time.